Windows Phone. It's that's a shit is a Windows Phone. Windows Phone is the shiz, is the shit, it is the bizam. It is the I don't know. I will say that it's a phone that I and let me tell you, when I at the other Windows phones out there, I'm saying other phones out there. I did something about Microsoft versus Apple versus Android. And here's what we got here. Look at is that Apple products. There are no cheap Apple phones out there. They did come up with the iPhone 3C, or I'm sorry, Apple iPhone 5C, and that's good. It's good that they're trying to, corner the low, cost market. And if you get the 2-year contract, you probably don't have to pay anything for that phone. But folks, while I'm doing this discussion, I want to talk about no contracts. So remember, as I'm talking, remember that I'm talking about no contract, no 2-year contract, no 1-year contract, no lifetime contract, nothing. We're only talking about no contracts here. Do we make that clear? All right. So let's go up the price on the iPhone, shall we? To get the iPhone 5C, you're going to have to spend anywhere between $300 and $500. If you want the iPhone 5S, you're going to spend what? $500 or $600. It is expensive. And me, who doesn't want to be on a damn contract, will pay full price for a phone. Galaxy S4, $500 or $600. Expensive, right? The Nokia Lumia 1020, $500 or $600. We're talking about phones that cost more than $300. And when I talk about the experience, the feel of the Nokia Lumia 521 as compared to a phone that costs $600, there is no difference between performance wise between the 1020 and the 521. Yes, I do notice some drop frames. But if you have $100, but you still want a high speed phone, there you go. Nokia Lumia 521, which is free if you do decide to get a 2-year contract. But again, I'm not talking about contracts here. I am talking about no contract. You don't, there's no contract on this particular discussion. In this particular discussion, there's no contract. Okay. So let's talk. Um, when a 1020, yes, if you have a 1020 or a 920 series Nokia Lumia phone, the performance is better. Okay, I mean, and we're talking about launching apps. It's more buttery. It has, like when you move things around, you don't see any drop frames. It's very clean, and it doesn't have that jump feel. Like for instance, when I pull up a web page in Internet Explorer, I can zoom into it and it's very fast. I mean, trust me, it's very fast. It's like zoom, and it renders very quickly. I am surprised that the performance of the 521 is darn good. Okay, but if you get a 1020, it's even better. But it's still fast. When I'm browsing web pages on this phone, it loads up pretty damn quick if I'm on a good Wi-Fi connection. At home where I live, because I live 5 miles away from the city, I only get 3 megabits per second. So on a computer, it is still web pages comes up pretty slowly. It's still not quick. It's not like zip, like if you're on Time Warner 15 gigabits per second or on Google Fiber 1 gigabits per second. Okay. And so the the browsing speeds of my phone is still pretty damn good. and I'm very, very satisfied with the performance of this phone. Yes, you don't get the Retina display or the AMOLED display screen. You don't get the what's the Nokia called, the black something, the black it makes it where the black colors are actually black. This is a standard LCD screen, standard LCD, but the picture quality is surprisingly nice. I watched a video on this phone, and the picture quality was actually gorgeous. It is not AMOLED, it is not Retina, but it's still crystal clear. The audio, I was very impressed with the audio. I know on my $150 Android phone, you and I jump in the shower and I want to play music from my phone, the audio is not loud. It's not loud enough. So I'm barely able to hear the music that's coming from the phone. But on this phone, the speakers, the built-in speakers, is pretty damn loud. It's loud and it's clear. It's not static clear. It's good audio coming from this phone. And as I understood, Nokia has always had good sounding speakers for talking on the phone, and the speakerphone is next to none. It is. Now, I will admit that the $29, the $30 Samsung Galaxy Discovery comes pretty damn close. The performance is not that great, but it's still doable. You can still do what you want. You can still check your email. You can play a couple games. You can get on Skype with it. Skype worked just fine. It's a little slow on the uptake. It's a little slow on the launch. It takes a long time for Skype to launch on the Samsung Galaxy Discovery, but it's still not bad. I mean, once you get it open and you start talking to your friends, it's running pretty good. Keep in mind, you can't run a lot of applications at one time because of the true um, uh, um, multi uh, multi-threading, multi something. I can't think of the damn word. But on my Nokia Lumia 521, there is no where you can run multiple applications at one time. So they have, what's called push notifications, and they have a few live tiles and stuff like that. So that Skype and Link, because I use Microsoft Link, I have two different Microsoft Links on this phone. And I was surprised. I actually thought that it wouldn't work, but I have Microsoft Link 2010 and 2013 on this phone. Why? Because today I just got contacted by the Office 365 client that I have. Still haven't got permission to give his name yet. And they said they gave me an account. So I loaded Microsoft Link 2010 for that account, and I got Link 2013 for my business account. So I can have both running at the same time. What I'm thinking about doing was having my client add me as a contact on my other Microsoft links since I have Federation. But anyway, that's not here or there because that's going on something different there. But Windows Phone is it just works. It works, and it works great on cheaper hardware. Will Nokia ever come up with a Nokia 320 or 420 for like $30 to $50? They might, but the performance on this phone, the 521, and I'm sure it's the same on the 520, is marvelous. Here's what you don't get with this phone. You don't get the front facing camera, unfortunately. You get the rear facing camera. 5 megapixels per second, 720p video, which is a standard for Windows Phone. On the Samsung Galaxy Discovery, is not 720p. So there is no minimum video specs for Android phones. They don't have a minimum. They didn't upgrade the minimum to 720. So you may get a phone, if you do buy a cheap Android, the video quality is not going to be that clean. Now, if you look at, I have two other videos that I shot during the day and also shot, with good light. And the picture quality is not bad. It's nothing like the 920 series or the 1020 Lumia phones. Nothing close. Those phones kick ass when it comes to pictures and video. Okay, it doesn't come close to it. But the picture quality on this phone, the pictures, the video, is not bad. It is still good video. The only complaint, and I think it's the performance, the microprocessor on this phone, is that if the phone is doing a lot of background tasks, the video does tend to cut off and on. I do notice that, and you can probably hear it on this video that I'm recording right now. If you're hearing those little pops and clicks, that's because the phone is having a hard time keeping up. Um, Especially when you first turn it on. Because when you first turn on a phone, it has to load everything. It has to begin all the tasks that it's been programmed to do. And so you may want to, if you want to get a good recording of something, make sure that you give it time for all the background stuff to load and then start your recording. And then I noticed that my video recordings are not so bad. Um, that's the only thing I've noticed. The picture quality, the picture taking is a little slow on the Nokia end. And I think that's the camera, not the OS. It could be the OS. I mean, I don't know. Someone who's an expert out there can probably let me know something. But I do notice that on the 1020 and the 920 series, when you take a picture, it's like snap, one, two, three, click, and it's that quick. Whereas on the iPhone and the Android, it's like you tap, click, tap, click. So you can get pictures really quickly. Tap, click, tap, click, tap, click. It's rather quick if you want to take a lot of photographs at one time. Boom. It's probably like this: click, 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 click. And there's some apps on the Android market or Android Google Play, as well as the Apple Marketplace. I think that's what they call it, Apple Store or whatever. Um, the App Store, right? That where you can take multiple pictures like you can do with the DSLR. We can go like click, 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 if you're taking pictures of some action, and then you pick out the best one. Now, oh, I know a lot of people out there say, "Oh, I got a Nokia Lumia and I got a program, an app that's called a lens that does all that." That's very true. This phone does have a lens for that. A lens is like a plug-in for your camera. It's like it's an app. You install the app, but it's part of the camera. So when you launch the camera, you can open up a lens that has those particular features. So, for instance, I want to take some pictures of some action. I can do that kind of action. It will grab those frames, store it later, because it has to save every single picture on your memory stick. So it saves it in memory, and then it starts saving it, and then you can go back in and view all those frames at one time. And then you can go in and say, okay, I want that frame, or I want multiple frames. You get that multiple action deal going. We get like a skateboard. It's that famous skateboard picture that Nokia always displays on their advertising, where a guy does a jump on his skateboard and then take like several clicks of it, boom, 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 as he goes up and comes back down again. It's that type of action. I haven't played with that particular lens yet. I do want to get some practice with this, so if I'm ever out taking photographs for real, I want to be able to just point and click and just do what I have to do without fiddling with all the settings because I don't know what I'm doing yet. So I want to get some practice with that. I will share it on my Flickr. But what I like is that there's an app for that, but built in, I'm talking about built in features. The camera app, just taking a simple 5 megapixel photograph using the built in app that came with the phone, is a little slow in the uptake. It loads quickly. And what I like about the Windows Phone is the button, the dedicated button for launching the camera, whether your phone is in sleep mode or if it's on. Okay, here's a good example of why I like this feature. Okay, I'm in my car now, and I'm on my phone. I'm looking at emails and all that, and I see something happening. So I can just press the button on the side of the phone. It launches the camera within like 1 second, and I can snap a picture. So it may be like tap on the button, one, two, click. It's about a second or so, but at least I can get that action when I need it. And even in sleep mode, it may take 2 seconds for the camera to launch. Now on other phones, doesn't have that feature. What you have to do is if you're already doing something, like you're looking at your emails or it's in sleep mode, first you got to turn the phone on, then you have to launch the camera app, and it may take you a while to get to where you got to go before you get to the camera app. Then you finally launch the camera app, and it takes about 1 second for it to launch, and then click. Okay, the clicking may be quick, but the launching is not. On the Windows Phone, the launching of the camera app is fairly quick because it's only one button. Click on that button, and that button is on most Windows phones is usually in the same place as it is on most point and shoot cameras. In DSLR, because it's always on the right side with all cameras, the button is always on the right side of the camera, and you just click on it. So most buttons for on most Windows phones is on the right, is on the side of the phone on the right. And it's really nice to use because if I tap on that button again as I'm talking to you, it will stop this video. Another cool feature is if I'm taking a picture like this, still, and let's say my fingers is not in a position to tap on the top, I can just tap on the screen and it will snap the picture. So I can use the screen as a shutter button as well as the button on top. I can use that as a shutter button. So I like that feature, and I think that compensates, gives it that extra oomph of why I still want this phone and I love this phone. I mean, not one why I love this phone because I got it. It's in my hand right now, and it's on. Now, kind of deviate just a little bit about T-Mobile service. It's not horrible. I have no problems with this phone actually with the signal. I do live 3 miles from the city, so the signal quality out there is going to suck no matter what provider I get with. Um, Someone who lives there now that has AT&T, it sucks. I have T-Mobile, it sucks. Cricket does a better job than those two combined. But it's not that horrible because guess why? I can do Wi-Fi calling. I'm using my Wi-Fi network in order to make my phone calls. So that kind of takes care of that part. But here's the thing about that. I'm in the city, I'm using 4G, and I only get 500 megabytes per month. And a person like me will use that up really quick. So imagine that within I just got my data yesterday. It told me it's now over. You're now back on 2G. But I haven't really missed it. Really? Because I mean, just now, right before I got on this video, I was in my Facebook app and I was looking at people's pictures. And yes, it was a tad bit slower, but it wasn't that much slower on 2G. I didn't know there was a such thing. I didn't know there really was a such thing as 2G. I thought it was, the original G, OG. Okay. Then I thought it went to 3G and 4G. I didn't know there was a 2G out there, but that's what the phone said. You're now on 2G. So I still got my data, so I'm not missing out. My emails do come in a little bit slower. And I'll give you an example. I have over 10 emails, and I just added an 11th one because the company that I'm working for, doing contract with, they gave me an email address, of course, with Office 365. So I noticed that when I turn my phone on and I got all these emails in the cloud waiting to be downloaded to my phone, when I was on 4G, my phone would go ding, 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 every email on different email accounts. Well, on 2G, it's more like ding, 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 getting or something. But the fact is, I'm not worried about it because so will I get the $1.5 or will I just go ahead and spend $70 for unlimited? Well, I may may do $60 because 4G is a little better. Okay, it's a little better, and I want to get things done quicker and load up maps. Oh, you do with maps. I noticed that when maps, whether it's Google Maps or Nokia Maps, this Nokia started with the apps program along. That's already Nokia the maps thing is a partnership. If the Department of Justice and other worldwide corporation agency decides to let that happen. But anyway, the maps do load up a little slower. I do notice that it's a little bit slow because it has to download all the graphs and the street and the satellite views did load up a little slower. So I did notice that. It's like going from 3 megabits per second to 1 megabits per second. You do notice the difference. But outside of that, I'm very happy with my phone, and T-Mobile is not horrible. And I saw an older gentleman at a gas station, and he was the cashier there, and he had his phone next to the cashier. And he was playing with his phone. I walked up. I'm like, "Hey, is that a Windows phone?" He's like, "Yeah, it's the HTC 8X." I'm like, "Wow, so how do you like it?" He was like, "I love my phone. Hate the service." Talking about AT&T. And so he's like, "The service sucks, but the phone is great. I love my phone." Now, here's the thing. At first, before I moved to San Marcos, I didn't know anybody who had a Windows phone or a Microsoft Surface. Actually, in Austin, I did see a Microsoft Surface at the library. But when I moved to San Marcos, I've so far met 5 people who has a Windows phone. And I ask each and every one of them, "Listen, how do you like your phone?" "Oh, I love my phone. It is smooth, it's great, it does everything I need it to do." And when people complain about apps, they can kiss my ass because the Windows phone has all the apps that I need. And that's how I feel. The built-in functionality, what comes with the phone, already has everything I need. And then all the other apps that I may want, like I really don't use my Instagram much. I really don't. I post to Instagram maybe like once a week. And but there is Instagram app now. It's in beta, but there is an app for it. Um, Not every single app is out there. Like the file sharing sites that are out there. You got Box.com, you got Dropbox, you got Copy.com, you have SkyDrive, and then Google Drive, and I'm sure there's others out there. Okay, and you also got SharePoint. You got to count that too, because that is a file sharing collaboration website, which a lot more than file sharing, but it's sort of the same thing. Now, what's cool about it is that Copy.com, Box.com. Okay, what's cool about Copy? You get 15 gigs for free. With Box.com, you get 10 gigs for free. With Google Drive, you get 15 gigs for free. With SkyDrive, you get 7 gigs for free. And I'm missing one more here. I am missing one more. Okay, skip that. But Dropbox and Google Drive is the only thing that's not available for Windows Phone yet. But I found an app yesterday that works great. And not only does it open up my folders and I can see my files in Google Drive, it even allows me to open them as a Google document or spreadsheet or a presenter. I can edit my Google documents in my app, and it's only 99 cents. It's not free. They do have a free version that you can open up your documents, but you can't. Well, you can see your documents, but you can't open them. You can't edit them. You can only open them. I'm sorry. You can only open them, but you can't edit them. But the 99-cent one allows you to edit your documents like you could in SkyDrive on a Windows phone. And I was so happy because I do have a lot of Google documents on my Google Drive account. I do have a lot of people sharing their documents with me. And I can access it access all that on my phone. And then on my SkyDrive, I have a lot of people sharing all of their documents with me, and I got 15 gigs worth of crap on there. I'm grandfathered into the 15 gigs, by the way. So there's a lot of stuff on there. There is. And it's a good thing because now copy.com and box.com also has an app for Windows Phone as well. Now, what I haven't found yet was a good Dropbox app. I haven't found a really good Dropbox app. If anybody knows of one, put it in the comments below. But I am, I don't have much stuff on my Dropbox now, but it's good to have all these different cloud-based file sharing services because then I can free up my hard drive. Well, it uses my hard drive because the program is also installed on my computer, but I'm not worried about losing my stuff in case my computer crashes. All my stuff is backed up in the cloud. At the same time, I can access all those documents that's on my computer on my phone. And one of these days, I want to get out my music collection and pay one of these companies, probably I don't know, whoever I can get that has the most for the money, you know. If I can get like 1 terabyte, no, I think with Box.com you can get up to 100 gigabytes for like $10 a month. I might get that and put all of my music on there as a backup. So whenever I'm like, oh man, my hard drive crashed, oh, no worries. Go to my Box.com account and all my music is right there. All right. So I mean, that's this thing's going on 26 minutes. My lunch is almost I got like 15 more minutes left on my lunch. So I better go ahead and start heading in and get my coffee and all that. But I just had a lot of things to say about Windows Phone. I love my Windows Phone. And if I had all the money in the world, of course, I'll have the Nokia Lumia 1020 on an AT&T network. Or if I want to stay with T-Mobile, get the 920, the 920 series. I think it's a 927, I believe. I would get that, right? But my 521 with my current, budget that I make this place here, and my current budget, the 521 works just fine for me. It does everything I need it to do, and it just works. It just works. It works. It works. It works. Right. ah, Grammar. Anyway, I'm out of here. Peace out.